Durham Police and Crime Commissioner Ron Hogg has been campaigning for a reform on drugs for years, and along with Chief Constable of the Force, Mike Bulletin, the two have publicly taken a sensible, not soft approach. So why, after the announcement that small-time cannabis users won't be prosecuted, are there now calls for him to step down from his role?
I think some of the reactions are quite irrational, and it's because cannabis is seen as a harmful substance. I agree with that. We have skunk on the streets, which is a very harmful substance. I agree that we should tackle all of this and try to remove these from the streets. But it is totally irrational. And what people forget, and it's partly through convenience, is that the drug of greatest harm is alcohol. And I'm also campaigning to change the licensing legislation to introduce minimum unit pricing, because what I want is a drugs policy for England and Wales which is focusing on minimising harm and optimising the benefits that drugs can bring to society.
One former addict who knows all too well the effect drugs, including cannabis, can have is Rob Etherson. He's now a drug recovery expert and says Ron Hogg's comments make perfect sense.
I think when you mention the word drugs, automatically what you think of is the war on drugs. When the reality is it's not a war on drugs, it's a war on people. It's a war on people that use them. So I don't think the general public discriminates between a recreational drug user and a drug addicted criminal. I think they see and they tar drug users with the same brush, but they don't consider alcohol users or smoking users in the same light. So I think it's the demonisation of drugs themselves.
The Police and Crime Commissioner says that while possessing and smoking cannabis is still illegal, in times of austerity it's important to use police time wisely and rehabilitate users through a course.
Checkpoint is a scheme whereby we try to work with offenders, and smoking cannabis is an offence, growing cannabis is an offence, we've not forgotten that. And what we will do is say, look, you enter into a contract with us, and part of that contract will be to wean them off their addiction. So we work with them to help them change their lives, stop their offending, and that means they don't get a criminal record. And we think that's a far better way than actually just giving them a slap across the wrist or even prosecuting through court, because that doesn't stop the behaviour, it doesn't address the problem. And so we think it's a very exciting way forward, but we use it for a vast range of low-level offences.
Critics say it would be impossible for police to gauge just how much cannabis constituted a small amount. But it's a topic that's certainly got people talking. And Mr Hogg's push for a national debate on drug reform could be edging closer. Zoe Muldoon, Maid and Tyne and Dwyer, Durham.